Ever since the new Jujutsu Shenanigans update introduced the new mode Roulette, there was one game mode that really stuck out to me, the brain swap mode. In this mode, you get 3 lives, and each time you spawn or change your moveset via alt drain, you get 4 random moves. Of course, when you use your ultimate, you get 4 random moves as well. It's important to note that you can get ultimate moves in your base moveset and vice versa, so it's all over the place. But the real question is, what's the best character to play in this game mode? Now hold on, I know what you're thinking. But Gamma, the moves are randomized. How would playing different characters have better or worse options? That's because if you haven't noticed, the passives and R specials from each character will still transfer, which can lead to some very interesting gameplay choices. If you're still confused, let me give a good example. Let's say you play Gojo in Brain Swap and get the Crushing Blow move from Yuji's moveset. You can use your R ability afterwards to downslam them while they're airborne, just like using Lapse Blue would allow you to do normally. So yeah, with this realization that the character picks do actually matter, let's try and answer the question as to which character is the best option. Sneak peek and spoiler alert, it's this guy right here. Now, after doing a lot of testing with each character, I've realized there isn't really a surefire way to determine the best character overall for every single player, and this is mainly because there's different playstyles that exist, so one player might perform better with another than someone else, but also because Brain Swap mode relies heavily on RNG to get good moves, and you'll understand what I mean pretty soon. Let's go character by character and see how they work in this game mode, and how you can implement their passives and ultimate passives into your randomized movesets. Let's start simple with Gojo like I was just used in the example. Gojo has one passive, and that's his R teleportation, and like I mentioned, this can still be used with the randomized movesets. As long as your move sends the enemy airborne, you can react fast enough to kick them back down. However, I will say that using this fact to the maximum potential requires a decent amount of game knowledge and skill. You need to know how to aim your R based on the different moves that send enemies airborne, since they don't all follow the trajectory of Lapse Blue. But I think if you can master this, you can become a demon with some combos in Brain Swap. Again, it's important to remember that you might not even get any value out of this passive at all, since if you get a moveset that doesn't really enable the R airborne special very well, it's pretty much wasted. Now let's check out Yuji and Sukuna. I'll answer the big question first. Can you feint every single move in the game? Unfortunately, you cannot. At least from my testing in Brain Swap, I was unable to feint moves that were not part of Yuji's base kit. Now Z, I know you're watching. Tell me it wouldn't be sick to feint every move you could get. Imagine starting up a Hollow Purple and then being like, psych, and then canceling it. Like, only to do it a few seconds later. Come on, that would be hilarious. Where choosing Yuji really shines is his ultimate. The passive you gain in Sukuna form are the ranged, overpowered M1s. These are deadly, even in the standard game. They don't really enable any specific gimmicks and pair with other moves like Gojo's R special, but these overpowered M1s make starting combos a lot easier, not to mention the R grab ability still being available as well, I think. If you still get lucky with your random moves in Sukuna form, you can be a force to be reckoned with these overpowered M1s. Overall, Yuji and Sukuna I'd say are a solid pick, and while maybe not having the most versatile mechanics and pair with the randomized moves, you sure get value out of his passives every game, unlike the risk you take with Gojo. Next up, we have Megumi, who is my personal favorite and who I believe is the absolute strongest. You might be asking why, since he only has a noticeable passive and that's his R special. Well, in this most recent update, it allowed Megumi to switch from ultimate to base mode with no reduction to your ultimate meter. This alone is very strong in the normal game, being able to use up to 8 different moves. However, in Brain Swap, the potential to become an absolute god of destruction exists. If you get a really strong base kit and a really strong ultimate kit, you effectively have 8 overpowered moves. And with 8 overpowered moves, you can keep sending them out one by one as the cooldowns refresh once you use them back over and over again when you go through the loop of the moves. Let's do a hypothetical to show you how broken this can be. Imagine your base kit includes something like Hollow Purple, Great Serpent, Face Blitz, and Overwhelming Luck. Already this is a strong kit. It could be even stronger with other moves or even swapping some of the moves for combo extenders like Cursed Strikes. Then you use your ultimate and you get moves like Widespread Strikes, Cursed Strikes, Magi Kick, and Malevolent Shrine. You are literally a walking nuclear bomb. Insanely strong moves, and you can keep throwing left and right. It's just insanely strong. Like, you have so many moves. Plus, even if you don't get a strong ultimate and base kit, you still have 8 moves to use at once, which is going to be strong by itself. Even with the weakest moves in this game, having 8 different weak moves to choose from, rapid fire, is deadly. Another bonus is what I mentioned before about his normal R passive. In the chaos that is Brain Swap, you can use this move to dodge some strong attacks. What a lot of people tend to do in Brain Swap is pop their domain as soon as the match starts when everyone spawns near each other, since they can get it in their base kit. Using Megumi's R ability can give you that extra movement speed you need to really get out of there. It's saved me plenty of times. In my opinion, Megumi is easily the strongest in Brain Swap, but we should still cover the last 3 characters that you can be in this mode. Hey, it's me editing the video. So upon rewatching this footage that you were just watching, I noticed something, and that's when using Mahoraga's moves, if you get Mahoraga moves in your moveset and landing them, it refills your ultimate meter just like it does for Mahoraga. This is not something I thought would happen. I thought that this would only apply to Mahoraga's meter, but I guess somewhere in the code it just refills no matter what. It refills any bar. So theoretically and technically, if you get a ultimate with Mahoraga move in it, it is technically possible to stay in that ultimate forever, infinitely, for the entire game. And in Megumi's case, that makes it so much stronger, because the real fun comes in your ultimate, but obviously it's on a timer, and this discovery I just made rewatching this footage is actually, like, it's game-changing, honestly. But yeah, that's my discovery. Okay, on to the next character. Let's check out Hakari. Sadly, I thought Hakari was going to be really strong, but Hakari is extremely weak in this mode, and this is mainly because of his ultimate. Let's cover his base first. His base moveset R passive is just the door counter. Now this is actually really solid overall. Having a guaranteed counter move in a game mode with randomized moves is extremely powerful, and not to mention getting a Manji kick in your base Hakari moveset means you will have 2 counters as well. His ultimate, however, is extremely weak most of the time. In order to obtain your jackpot, you actually need to be able to cause the scenarios, which you can only trigger by using Hakari's normal moves. The only surefire way to cause scenarios for a jackpot is to land your counter, since you always have that. But even then, you need to land your counter upwards to 8 times for a guaranteed jackpot. And if you do get lucky and get a Hakari in your random moveset, the ultimate could still be pulled off. If you somehow manage to get his jackpot and brain swap, you could easily be the strongest player in the game. On top of it being near impossible to die, having infinite regen paired with insanely strong moves potentially is just borderline overpowered. But I did some small testing in build mode to see if the R special and ultimate form would affect the windups and over moves, but I don't think it does. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Overall, I would say Hakari is the riskiest pick. The only guaranteed bonus you get is the counter, but even then, it doesn't outweigh the fact that you might not be able to get his ultimate form in the first place, which will permanently restrict you to 1 moveset. Remember, giving your ultimate gives you a brand new moveset entirely. Second to last, we have Mahito. Mahito's passive and his base form are 3 separate M1 variations, and these don't directly affect any of your randomized moveset options unless you manage to get the focus strike, but they can combo well and they can help. But that's what they do in the first place, sort of like how Sukuna's M1s just make everything easier. His ultimate gets the same treatment relatively, enhancing your M1s and your dash with the passives that make it extremely deadly to face Mahito in ult form. At the time of this video, Mahito does not have his original ultimate moveset back, which I believe you were able to swap back and forth with originally. So, if this case is changed and you could switch, Mahito would be more OP than Megumi in this mode, but who knows. If you're watching this video and that's been reverted, then I would probably go ahead and say Mahito's the strongest, but as of this video uploaded, I would say no. However, with that being said, I'd say Mahito is still an overall solid pick for this mode if you're really good at dancing around with his M1s and Q passives. Finally, and yes, finally, we have Mahoraga. Now, Mahoraga isn't a selectable character in Brain Swap, but you can still become Mahoraga if you get them as a move and manage to pull it off. Doing so will give you a fresh random moveset with all the benefits of being Mahoraga. Just remember, putting yourself in Mahoraga form essentially puts a guaranteed death timer on you, and in this game mode you only have a certain amount of lives, so sometimes using Mahoraga might not be the best option. However, if you get a strong moveset with Mahoraga, his high health pool and deadly block breaking M1s can make you unstoppable. Now, I did try to do some testing in a private server to see what would happen if switching my 4th move using the Mahoraga adaptation wheel would do, but my hypothesis of it doing nothing was correct. However, this could act differently in Brain Swap. I was kind of just a bit too lazy to go and test it myself, so actually I challenge you guys to answer that question for me. Just get Mahoraga and then change modes to see if your 4th move changes to something else random as well. But yeah, that's every character in Brain Swap. I think it's obvious who's the king of this mode, and that's Megumi, at least in my opinion. The ability to swap between 8 random moves and the potential to get overpowered moves is just borderline insanity. The longer ultimate time and no punishment for swapping movesets is just insanely broken. But again, that's also just my opinion. Let me know who you think is the strongest in Brain Swap. Do you like to play aggressive with Sukuna and Mahito's enhanced M1 passives, or really spice things up with Gojo's ability to teleport into some random moves like Stockpile or Cursed Blow? No matter who you choose, you should subscribe. We're super close to 100,000 subscribers, and I think it would be awesome to hit it before 2025. But that's all for the video, so thanks for watching. One last thing though. If you're a Megumi Brain Swap player who knew how absolutely disgustingly broken he was before this video, sorry for exposing the meta.